Hi, everybody. Hollie, Clere with the Social Media Advisor. I am so excited today because I get to introduce you to one of my newer friends. We happened to meet on LinkedIn. Selena Thiele, welcome.
Hi.
Selena and I have so many things that are in common. It's crazy. We both like tech. We both like games. We both love animals. And she happens to have a superhero. Oh, look, there's your kitty.
Yeah, it's speaking of cats. So I love superheroes and all this stuff in general. Like I'm such a big nerd for all of that. But the first one that really caught my eye when I was a kid was Catwoman. Because her name is Selena Kyle, so you've got that little transition, and she's not like entirely good, but she's not entirely evil. And she's just like this fascinating character. Plus,
I mean, you are a Catwoman.
plus you've got all these extra kitties running around, which I channel.
Yeah. I get that. I am that. My kids have a thing. It's connecting. I'm connecting to that. Well, and what beautiful markings that kitty has. Look at those paws.
It's like he's a perfect little tuxedo with a full set of spats.
Oh.
So, congratulations, Claudio. You're now famous.
Yes, you are. Hi, buddy. That's so awesome.
I'll be free.
Well, we got to talking on LinkedIn a little bit, and I was talking about how I'd gone to Maui, and we were talking about different things that we're both looking forward to. You're in the virtual assistant space. Let's talk about that. What does that look like, and like how does that work? What does that mean? And who would you work with?
So the virtual assistant space is really interesting because it's this kind of balance of admin and entrepreneurship and work from home and flexibility, and you can work with almost anyone.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Our particular group has worked with HIPAA stuff with some therapists and things like that. There's a million different specialties, so you can get virtual assistants who just work with a CRM, who just work with social media, that just work with whatever their thing is. Our particular company kind of has a smattering of everything. It's kind of entry level plus is what I like to call it. So it's everything from like that kind of email management and following up with voicemails and checking in with clients to make sure they filled out their paperwork properly and they paid you and things like that.
It's important.
Yeah, it's these necessary time consuming things that you've got to get done, but at the same time, well,
who wants to do that? Because we have our hat of the things that we're really, really good at, the things that we enjoy doing. And then we have this bucket of other hats that take us forever to do. And because we don't like to do them, we're not specialized in those tasks. Why not find somebody else that is?
Well, that's where the tendency to be like, oh, I'm so super busy. I don't have time to get everything done today. I'm just not going to do that thing. And then the next thing you know, it's 3 weeks later and you still haven't followed up with that one email, or you haven't you didn't follow up with that one person who was asking, maybe not the greatest question, but it was good to follow up with, and it's now buried in the email, and Lord help you. We all have those moments where there's just stuff that we don't enjoy, so we just kind of put off doing it for as long as we humanly can.
Yes, that's so dangerous.
It's so dangerous, and especially as a business owner, because you never know when that one email where the person is asking like, I don't know, like, what are your hours? But if you can start that conversation with, oh, well, the hours are this, and then they turn into like this super great client. But if it's this thing where it's like, oh, this is an easy question, I'll get to it later, I've got to follow up with these 47 other things, and you forget about it.
Yeah. Exactly. How many times have you gone to a networking thing, in person or online, and you see a bunch of people that you're like, oh, I want to connect to them, grab their contact information, never do anything else with it. In fact, even if they proactively sent you a message, you just don't really know how to respond back in return. And so nothing ever happens with that anyway. So then why did you take the time to go to the meeting to begin with?
Exactly. You're spending all this time to grow your business, and then you can't actually grow because there's these little items that are just They're a time suck. They're necessary, but they aren't like the super specialized skill that you are really known for.
Yes.
And so having someone to just follow up on like LinkedIn or email and be like, hey, it was super form letter, super great meeting with you, would love to talk, blah, 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 blah. Let's schedule something. And hey, your VA has your schedule and knows that your
Ta-da!
kid has stuff on Friday night, so you can't do anything after 3.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also the speaking as a solopreneur. I was a solopreneur for a really long time. It's only in the last well, I guess it's 9 months now that I expanded and brought in like other people. It's so easy to just be like, you'll go to a friend's place, you'll go to that family event, and half the time you're on your phone, just checking on that thing. I just hold on. And then no one's happy because you aren't really getting that downtime that you need and you want with the people who are important to you.
Yeah.
You aren't taking those vacations without making sure, like, okay, well, on the cruise ship, do I need to buy like the Supreme package in order to get like the good Wi-Fi? It'd be
Oh my
nice to be able to.
gosh. I
You know what
remember
I'm
those
talking
days.
about.
I went on a cruise for my honeymoon and had my business, and I was sneaking off on the laptop with that expensive Wi-Fi, mind you, trying to get some emails answered and status. You know, there's a reason why we can have team and why we don't have to be tied to our technology all the time. I do love technology, mind you. I mean, I am in the
Technology's
social media space, right?
great. Like, technology is great. Technology is partially what allows you to hand stuff off to a virtual assistant.
Yes.
Because you can just like, here's everything on a Google Doc, or here's my CRM, or, just keep it updated while I'm gone. If anything explodes, here's like the one way you can get in touch with me, but literally make sure
Make your,
someone is bleeding.
make sure your vacation's your vacation. Exactly. I love that. Well, and even with the day-to-day stuff right now, with all the things that are still happening in the world, and I see it very often where there's so many small business owners that are just like avoiding doing anything that could be productive, and so they're finding themselves 3 months now in to this whole different world, and all these tasks that they had planned to do in the last few months have gotten pushed off, pushed off, pushed off. Yeah. And, what are you going to do? You've got to do those things that they were important to you at one time. So you prioritize, right? But then we need a you to come in and help, like, all right, so here's all the stuff that I had. I can only focus on the things that I'm good at. I still need to get these other things done. Let's push forward. Because, the work that you do now in your business is going to fill your funnel 3 months from now. So why avoid it all the way around? Bring in someone who's specialized.
Exactly. And especially because a lot of businesses had to shift how they were doing stuff. All of a sudden, no more in-person meetings. Okay, how do I move this to Zoom or to another online platform and still have it like make sense? How do I get the word out about that? Well, having an assistant who knows some of the tech can help you get it set up, help you manage these changes, so that they're the ones who's sending out email blasts, they're the ones who's making sure that the people who were planning are still getting follow-ups, and hey, this is how it changed. Hey, make sure Zoom did a major update. Make sure you update your Zoom files before you try to get on, otherwise you're going to be 15 minutes late.
Right. Oh my goodness, I've seen that so much.
Little things like that just because this is the headspace that the VA lives in, of these little nitpicky details that honestly most business owners shouldn't be having their headspace in. So one of the first guys that I worked for, fantastic stucco, drywall, plaster, all of that stuff. He was amazing at it. But you got him in the office and it was like, no, get out. This is not spending more time having to explain the spreadsheet as opposed to just saying, yeah, here's where stuff is.
Oh no.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make him a bad businessman. it doesn't make anyone a bad business person if they aren't good at following up with some of these nitty-gritty little details, or if they don't immediately know how to immediately shift to an online platform.
Yes.
That's not like a moral failing.
No, not at all. But that's just the thing is, it's not your jam. It's not your space.
It's not your jam. It's not your space. You shouldn't have to continually exist in this state of, what am I doing?
Well, because it also causes overwhelm, right? Like there's fear, there's overwhelm, there's the lack of confidence. I talk to a lot of people right now in the social space who are like, I have no idea even how to use Facebook, which could seem completely crazy to someone or completely realistic. And, I'll tell somebody all day long, you don't have to, social media is not a requirement for your business. It's a helpful tool. But if it overwhelms you so much to the point where you're not going to be able to pause and learn how to use it right, then maybe we have to figure out something different. And, I love that. My least favorite word in the world right now is pivot, but I do like the word shift. So we're going to avoid pivoting, but we're going to shift. And I think it's all about mindset and really owning. When you own your gifts and talents, and this is your specialty, then you're able to clearly identify for somebody else, here's what I need to have done. And so what does that look like? What does that starting conversation look like with you?
So the starting conversation is usually someone is coming to us going, I'm just really overwhelmed. No matter what that's with, is like, I'm just kind of overwhelmed and I'm not sure where to start. So we'll start the conversation. We're like, okay, well, tell us how your business runs. How are you marketing? What are your clients? What does that person look like? How much time are you spending on social media? How much are you spending on answering your emails? How long has it been since you did your bookkeeping?
Yes.
Things like that. And then that gives us a pretty good idea of like, okay, here's the stuff you really, really dislike doing. Let's maybe start here. If there's still a little, I don't know, we will actually build out like a flow chart of how their business flows, how it works, and start basically assigning values to it. Okay, building more client bases, going to networking events. How much is that worth to your business? Versus how much is answering emails to your business.
I like the strategy behind that.
Because yes, you have to do the emails. That is obviously more than $0.
Yeah.
But if it's more than networking, for our example, is it really? Do you want to think about that a little bit more? Not to say that there is, no one where that ends up being true. But for the most part, doing things to go out and you build your business, actually get the product done, do the big stuff is way more important than little admin tasks.
I love that. We were talking a little bit ago about you've got a free webinar coming up.
I do. So this is it's going to be in partnership with Colorado Tech Team and a kind of marketing coach. His thing is really honing in on who is your market, which some people are kind of about, some people have it down. And basically it's a webinar that kind of goes through the different steps of like, okay, well, if you're here, then yeah, you need to figure out who your market is before you do anything.
Yes.
If you're here, then honestly, your best move is probably going to be upgrading some tech stuff. Because if your tech isn't there, there's only so much a VA can do. There's only so much you can do.
Yeah. That's good. I want to go to that.
Hey, you have these other two things set up and you're still feeling overwhelmed. Yeah, it's time to bring someone in and start maybe passing some stuff off to them. It's going to be Succeed with a Plan. It's kind of a 3 steps to success program. Each one of us will have like a little kind of blurb in this webinar, about 15 minutes. So like 15, it should be under an hour.
Cool.
Right around the hour mark if you include like questions and things like that. All the details and that sort of thing will be going up within the next 2 weeks on the outside. We're hoping for a week, but we've seen how occasionally technology, as much as we love it and we rely on it, occasionally it does not like us back.
Yes. I mean, we experienced that even today.
Little bit.
Little bit.
But it's going to be really exciting. It's really interesting. The website for it is almost done.
Great.
We've got like a little quiz basically of things of, oh yeah, I feel this way about this thing, and it'll say, hey, it seems like you're at this point in your business process.
Oh, that's so fun. I love things like that.
So it's super great, and it's interesting to kind of put a VA in that way, because you get a kind of a catch-all virtual assistant like Office Mercenary does, and then eventually they get enough that they can start handing it off to super specialized VAs, or you get the ones who just do CRM or just do like your company and that sort of thing. It's not just posting on social media, it's the whole marketing aspect of social media. And it's like, hey, it'd be nice if you had the basics set up so we can hand it off.
Yes.
And that way a company like yours can clean it up, and it takes you guys less time and less aggravation to hopefully get things up and running.
Well, I think that's super cool. I really hope that you share, once it's live, that you share the link on the Facebook video below. This video actually will be shared in YouTube also. Ooh. Yes, awesome. The use of twos in the face of books.
So fancy.
Yes.
Sure, everything is shared everywhere. Ooh.
Well, this is great. I know, exactly. So you guys, we had the most fun at our one-to-one. We got to meet each other. I think we needed to plan more time. I'm looking forward to seeing you in person and sitting down and eating food with you someday. And
so exciting, going back out into the world.
It will be nice. It will be very nice. But I'm going to share your contact information in the comments down below. This is really valuable. I feel that your service is absolutely necessary for any small business owner, because we cannot be the jack of all trades, and we have to be present to serve our customers and our clients and our vendors and our collaborative partners in so many different ways that we can't afford for something to be missed. And you guys, it really is a very cost-effective solution for your business. If you document how much it would cost you to bring in an employee, let's say you want to bring in a full-time assistant. Now you're looking at benefits, you're looking at insurance. Now you're looking at insurance for that person and the liabilities with that person. Then you're looking at salaries. And, that's the greatest thing about bringing in someone like Selena is you don't have those additional overhead, and it's expandable. So you could think, oh my gosh, I have a full-time person's amount of work, but actually maybe it's just 10 hours, and then you can build on it from there. And that's why this is valuable. I had my virtual business, and that's how I got started into the social media space 15 years ago. And then it merged after 5 years, and we've got to shift, right? So I highly encourage you, reach out to Selena, take a look at her team. They're doing some amazing things at Office Mercenary. I said it correct.
Yes, Office Mercenary.
Office Mercenary. And that link will be down below. Reach out, go to that free webinar I plan to attend. There's so much I want to know. And I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you for taking some time.
You. Thank you for inviting me on this. This has been so much fun.
Yay! That's awesome. Well, you guys follow her on all her channels. Take the effort to write down the tasks that you really don't like, and consider the option of having a virtual assistant. It makes a world of difference. That's how I was able to expand my team as well. And it's just good. It's good. So let's be awesome in all things, and cheers to your success. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.